Hey everybody, Roblog Fett here once again for another talk about some armor. Today, let's talk about why people throughout history have had such a fascination with armor, and specifically, and more specifically, the Middle Ages in general. We can really start to look at this trend, I guess we can call it, to its real beginnings in the Victorian era, where people in the heart of the Industrial Revolution, mostly rich people, let's be honest, people with money, were really looking to find the time of innocence, where before industry took over and ruined human morals and, all those normal things people expunge, whatever, to industrial progress. Now, the Victorians saw the Middle Ages with chivalry and knights rescuing damsels. Of course, it wasn't quite how they pictured it and colored it to us. And the history of the Middle Ages we received from them is skewed by their own personal views. And it's only been the last 50 or so years that we've really started to peel back the layers of the kind of false Middle Ages that they put in front of us. But we can talk about that in another time if you guys want. So what happens in the Victorian era is that rich merchants, the noble houses, they have this love affair with the Middle Ages, so they start to collect arms and armor because it's a direct link to that past that they so love. So armories are raided or sold, we'll say. When conflicts erupt and castles are taken, their armories are stripped bare, sold on the market, copies are made, mismatched pieces of armor are put together or made to look as a full set to be sold because it's worth more. And we get, to this day, we still find copies and modified pieces. So a lot of bad stuff happened in kind of the black market trade of medieval artifacts. And it still happens today, unfortunately, that people pass off fakes. But that's in all art, let's be honest. There are fake paintings, there are fake sculptures, there is fake armor. So there's that love affair in the Victorian era, and it kind of continues throughout the whole era, and it dies down. Once we get into the 20th century, the real love affair with it is mostly over. People have the stuff they want. A lot of armor is in private collections. There are museums that start displaying it, of course. And then the World Wars break out, and that results in some more shuffling of pieces from Germany and the areas that are affected by the war, because war breeds chaos. So more pieces are lost to history, redistributed. I'm sure there's some soldiers' families that have pieces from armories that they don't even know about or where they came from. War trophies being what they are. So a major breakthrough we really have in the study of arms comes at the excavations at Visby in 1928. Now, the Battle of Visby was a huge fight between the Danes on the island of Gotland. So the Danish king and the Guntish county yeomen, the Danish forces destroyed the yeomen. And the archaeological excavation first takes place in 1905, so right after the end of the Victorian era. And a huge amount of arms and armor are found, and that's where we get the patterns for coats of plates and lots of mail hoods. And it's very rare because in the times of the Middle Ages, battlefields are generally picked clean, and historians to this day are still debating why all of this stuff was left. The prevailing theory is that Due to the hot weather, the bodies were starting to rot very quickly, so they were very quickly and unceremoniously dumped into mass graves, and which leaves us with the great finds that we found. So, with that, it jumps kind of the understanding huge leaps forward, just because there are actual pieces. So, while we're on this, we'll talk about why there's so little of it left nowadays. But the fascination with it continues, not only for the fact that there isn't a huge amount of armor left from the Middle Ages, all things considered, considering how much was made, that there is so little of it left to study and to be displayed. And then, of course, we have that people didn't write down how they made this stuff very often. Several reasons for this. Obviously, one, you want to protect your trade secrets. You don't want there to be a book of how to make a 16th century Maximilian cuirass, because then anyone can read it and theoretically can make it, which undermines your guild and all that stuff. Also, it's just literacy, while important, isn't number one on everyone's book. You'll read and write enough to get you through what you need to do. You're not going to worry about writing a book. You have other things to do, like make money by making your armor. So, a couple of reasons that people are so fascinated by it. Just because we're trying to figure out exactly how they made it and what they did. And then for those that aren't interested in that aspect, when you go to a museum and you see a full suit of armor, like our man here, you see this in your local art museum, which is where many armors are displayed. You can easily imagine that it was worn by a man. This could have walked into battle and was there at important moments, and it takes us to all those vain things of glory and honor and chivalry that everyone has, especially as a young child, and many people continue through their whole lives. And it's just inspirational, and just the wonder you have looking at it, and wonder how you make it, how you wear it. You just don't know these things. It's fascinating to look at. It's very, on that level, it's very easy to understand why people really love it. And then, of course, you've got people that continue to really study it and are interested in that way. But most people, at some point in their lives, have at least a little bit of wonder at the medieval knights and their codes of chivalry. So, as with most other things, the reasons people love it are wide and varied. Children love it because it just looks amazing and gives them their hero sense. Rescue the fair maiden in the dragon's keep kind of thing. And then as we get older, most people lose interest in it because we move on to other things. Fairly normal. So, and then you have people like me who just can't get away from how amazing this is to see, and to wonder how all of these joints work, and that you can just boggle your mind at how ingenious our forebears were, and we always tend to write them off as very stupid and all that, but they were just very smart in different ways that they needed to survive. But that pretty much brings us to why people love it, because it's awesome. At the end of the day, it's cool. It really connects us with the past. It is such a striking picture of history. It's not just a photograph. It's not a painting. It's not a story. You can look at it and just imagine what that armor has seen, what it has done. So, without further ado, people love this stuff because it's such a connection. It's so easy to walk back into history, seeing it standing there before you. So there you have it, folks. Some of the reasons why people just can't get enough of medieval armor throughout the ages. Thank you all for watching. I look forward to all of you guys viewing more. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content from me, guys. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye-bye.